Welcome to Ganita Sutras Mathematics on First Principles classes. Today in Lesson 6, we are taking up the illustrative reach of Ganita Sutra 1. Ganita Sutra 1 is the source sutra. Ganita Sutra 1 is a text of 16 letters. The organization of these 16 letters as it is will be sequentially unfolding from within for a reach up for the entire range of Ganita Sutras 1 to Ganita Sutra 16. These 16 letters of Ganita Sutra 1 text as such will emerge as the structural keys. These 16 letters of the sutra are a bunch of 16 structural keys. The first letter A of TCV value 6 is the structural key of Ganita Sutra 1 itself. The second letter Ka with the TCV value 4 is the structural key of Ganita Sutra 2. Like that, these 16 sutras as organization of 16 letters will sequentially provide us the structural keys for reach at the mathematical domains of the 16 sutras. This is the aspect at which and in terms of which ultimately we will be having the final reach that these values, mathematical domains of Ganita Sutras mathematics will take us to a stage which will be designated as Ved. It would be a stage prior to its reorganization as 4 Vedas by Maharishi Vedvyas. Rig Ved, Yajur-ved, Sam-ved, Atharv-ved. So the Vedas as literature which has reached us and which is preserved by us and which we are carrying under the caption and designation that the Vedic knowledge or Vedic scriptures, these are actually from this phase and stage onwards. Then we know it will be of 21 branches, it will be of 101 branches, 1000 branches, and then 9 branches. And this range, as it is of a literature which is flowing from the original unified state of the Vedic knowledge. This organization of knowledge and its classification as Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Samved, Atharved, as it is availing mathematics which is called Vedic mathematics, and it is the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. So Ganita Sutras mathematics has the ultimate reach at the phase and stage when from which reservoir, from which pool the Maharishi Vedvyas reorganized it as 4 Vedas and so. Therefore, the real test, real appreciation of our initiation and of our comprehension of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras on its first principles will be whether or not ultimately we have been successful, we have a bliss of having a reach at the Vedic knowledge of original reservoir. It is in terms of it also will flow answer for the vibrating question being raised by present generation on the basis of their axioms, postulates of the modern mathematics, whether these Ganita Sutras mathematics is Vedic mathematics or not. And when they doubt that this Ganita Sutras mathematics is not Vedic mathematics, and when apprehensions, suspicions are shown that this designation Vedic attached with Ganita Sutras is not justified, then they have to wait, they have to sit comfortably, they have to meditate, they have to be face to face with the lively values of Ganita Sutras mathematics, and then see that these values are ultimately taking us to the unified state, the original state of that reservoir from which the knowledge stood classified as four Vedas of different branches by Maharishi Vedvyas, and that this phenomenon is of continuous happening in each Dwapar Yuga. There are 28 Dwapar Yugas in one Kalp, in one Manvantar, and these 28 Dwapar Yugas are the 28 Vedvyas. Vedvyas of each Dwapar Yuga takes us to the lineage of 28 Vedvyas, and 28 designations, names of Vedvyas are the formulations in terms of which we can sequentially reach at the transformation, transition and sequential progression of the Vedic knowledge as Vedas from first Dwapar Yuga to 28th Dwapar Yuga. It is a long process. We have to wait for it. Now, from today, we are simultaneously focusing upon the illustrative reach. Step by step, sequentially, we will be taking up the illustrative reach of Ganita Sutra 1 as the source formulation. Let us make a note in our Vedic mathematics referencer that mathematics of Ganita Sutras is the mathematics of the 16 sutras followed by 13 Upsutras. These 16 sutras are distinct mathematical domains, and the structural key of each of these 16 mathematical domains are preserved as 16 letters of the text of Ganita Sutra 1. Each letter of Ganita Sutra 1 is a structural key of the corresponding Ganita Sutra. Ganita Sutra 1 itself is having its structural key preserved in its first letter. The first letter A, the sixth vowel of TCV value 6, gives us the structural key for reach at the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutra 1 itself. It is here where the value 6 acquires its importance, and this value is the value as a Surya Ank. It is a number value of sun. It is a Surya Ank. So let us make a note that Ganita Sutras mathematics, which initiates as Ganita Sutra 1 as a source reservoir as well as the first mathematical domain, and its structural key is preserved in its first letter of TC value 6, and this value 6 is a Surya Ank, it is a number of the sun. As such, this mathematical domain is going to be the mathematical domain of our solar universe. This being the format, this being the range. Therefore, sadhakas shall sit comfortably and very gently, sequentially, step by step, try to be face to face with the organization features and other values of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. Therefore, the first thing which we have learned is that Ganita Sutra 1 is giving us a rule 1 more than before. We have also seen that this 1 can be once, it can be alone, it can be soul, it can be first, and like that there are a very large number of organizational manifestations of value 1. So 1 is more than which value is the question which is inherent in Eka Adhikain, the first formulation of this sutra, and its answer is also in the second formulation, Purvain. Let us have a pause here and take note that Purv means previous, and it also means an east. From earth towards east is sun. Therefore, this Purv is a formulation, and we see it is of transcendental code value 21. And 21 we know is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. And one step at a time, one more step, one additional step, as is the working rule, one more than before, Ekadhiken Purvain. Therefore, it will be taking us to value 1, which can be 1 space, value 2, it can be 2 space, value 6, it can be 6 space. It can be 1 space body, 2 space body, and 6 space body. This way, this reach from earth to east, earth to sun, placement of the sun in east, east Purv, formulation value 21 of value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Therefore, we have to see that when we say one more Ekadhiken Purv, means when it is 21 and one more than 21 will give us 22, and see this will be value 4, 5, 6 and 7. This addition value 22. So 22, therefore one more than before, Purv 21, one more than it will be 22. 22 gives us the value 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 as 22. And this 22, as such, these 4 values are taken as 4 folds as a layer which we designate as hypercube 6, the representative body of a 6 space. Therefore, today we are having the illustrative reach of Ganita Sutra 1 to the hypercubes 1 to 6 format, which we designate as Sthapatya miring rod. As such, we shall make a note in our referencer that today's focus is upon the illustrative reach of Ganita Sutra 1 in terms of its formulation rule 1 more than before, one step at a time, number of steps and one additional step, one next step of the next value. These all are the connotations, these all are the meanings which sequentially unfold from within it. And now let us see how the Ganita Sutra 1, with a rule one more than before, will pose a question whether it is a single step, one more than before, or it can be have a repetitive. From the generality, we know that one more than before. So when we will have a one and we will reach before the value of the previously preserved in it. Now the value reached at will also again have the same organization format, and it will take us to the next step. Therefore, this rule inherently is of a feature and a property that it can have any number of applications, any number of these frequency of steps. Therefore, one more than before can be applied any number of times, as many number of times as we like, as we desire, as there is a need for it. But let us see, the second letter Ka is of value 4. Therefore, the inherent limitation, inherent restriction, inherent hint provided in the text itself is that if these steps are taken quadruple number of times, 4 number of times, then it will give us a mathematics of 6 space, the mathematics of value 6, the mathematics which is the mathematical domain of Ganita Sutra 1. Therefore, the mathematics of Ganita Sutra 1 as such brings us face to face with as that value 6 as a Suryank, as a number value of the sun, is of such a form that this frequency for this reach, for the inner organization of this body, this space content is to be taken 4 times. Therefore, let us see that if we are in this particular state, we say we are at value 1. We say we are at 1 space. We can say we are at 1 space body. We say it is an interval. Now this interval, as is the reach, this reach is in fact is a integrated state of quadruple folds. This quadruple folds integrated and formatted as this 1 space body, when is to be unfolded, this 1 space body when would be unfolded, it will take us to the quadruple values -1, 0, 1 and 2. Like that, if the 2 space value 2 with the 2 space body as the quadruple folds, which this will unfold itself as 0, 1, 2 and 3. I am taking a focus upon 1 as a 1 space body, as a 1 space content, and this being at the center. Therefore, around this and with this as a center, as the bodies, as the space contents, as the space, then we are seeing that these quadruple values are taking us that this reach from 0 to 1, as we had seen previously, this 0 to 1 with its an opposite orientation is also taking us from 0 to -1. It is this reach from 0 to 1 with the opposite orientation when gives us a reach at -1, then we can see that the value 1 which we had received, for it we have to reach 2 steps prior to it, and the 1 more than that, it will also give a 1 step subsequent to it. Let us have a pause here. Let us sit comfortably. Let us revisit this phenomenon and then we'll approach, see that 1 as a one space content, one space content as a one space content lump, one space content lump manifesting as one space body, this body manifesting as a compactified state of 4 steps of 4 values, as is the restriction in the second letter here, and it is this restriction which makes it of 4 folds when we will be unfolding it. So when this compactified state, this manifested state of one space content lump as of the quadruple folds, when are to be unfolded, then same will, in terms of this feature of pair of orientations, will give us that there will be a 2 steps up till this, and there would be 1 step ahead, and it will ultimately make it quadruple steps. So with the 2 steps prior to it, a reach, and the 1 step ahead, this format of quadruple. So we will say, we will define one space content, one space content lump, one space content lump manifesting as one space body. This one space body which we designate interval. Now this interval is a one space body. It is a one space content lump manifesting. This one space content lump is actually taking us to one space content lump as a prior to manifestation stage. This will take us to one space content features and values, and one space content and features will take us to one space. Like that, as the first value is a 6, so we have to reach 6 steps. We have to have a progression. 6 steps progression is to be had to have a reach up till the first letter itself. Now this 6 steps long reach means we have to have a reach at the bodies of 6 spaces, like interval as a body of a one space, as a quadruple values, as 4 folds. So we designate it hypercube 1. Hypercube 1 is a representative regular body of one space, and it is of 4 folds, -1, 0, 1 and a 2. A step ahead, value 2 will take to 2 space content lump, 2 space to 2 space content to 2 space content lump to 2 space content lump manifesting, and this manifestation is going to be of a 4 folds. From 2 we will be giving it 2 steps ahead, 1 and to a 0. As we know, 1 more than before is taking us to pair of orientations, and as a working rule it will further take us to 3. So these quadruple values, therefore hypercube 2 this hypercube 2 will become the representative regular body of a 4 space, and it is going to be a 4 folds of quadruple values 0, 1, 2 and 3. A step ahead, a 3 space body will be designated as hypercube 3. It is going to be a 3-fold manifestation layer, and it is going to be of quadruple values 1, 2, 3 and 4. Here, as we are well acquainted with this body, and this body as it is, and we designate it as a cube. This cube we know is accepting linear axes. So one space x, y and z like. So one space value 1 is playing the role of its dimension. Therefore this first fold is actually a dimension. And the second value 2, we know this cube is having a surface value, where it is having a surface plate. It is like a room which is having 4 walls, then roof and the floor. And so here it is surface, here is value 2. So it is and it is in the form of an enveloping, it is in the form of a boundary. Therefore the second fold will become a boundary fold. Further, value 3, it is the volume part which makes it a solid, which really makes it a 3 space body, which is a 3 space content lump. Therefore this will be designated as a domain which is contributing a volume. And the fourth step we will see is the step which is the origin of a 3 space, or which is a center of a cube. We will be coming afterwards when we will be taking up a transition from 1 space to 2 space, 2 space to 3 space, and we step further when we'll go that 4 space is also a reality, 4 space is a real space, 5 space is a real space, 6 space is a real space. But for the present, we are taking it that sequentially we are reaching at the next quadruple values 2, 3, 4, 5, and this would be the 4 folds for the 4 space body, a 4 space content, 4 space content lump, 4 space content lump manifesting as the domain fold of the 4 space body. And step ahead, there is a 5 space reality as well, and this 5 space reality will be making a 5 space representative body as a 4-fold manifestation layer of quadruple values 3, 4, 5 and 6. And step ahead, finally we will have a quadruple values 4, 5, 6 and 7 as a 4-fold manifestation layer of the 6 space hypercube 6 as a representative regular body of a 6 space. It is a very big reach. This reach in terms of the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1 step at a time. This in terms of the internal organization of the Ganita Sutra 1 itself, with first letter as of value 6 and second letter as of value 2 will further take us to and will bring us face to face with and will provide us the real insight as that these organization of sun as of value 6 as a 6 space, as a 6 space content, as a 6 space content lump, as a 6 space content lump manifesting as the domain fold, that material, that content of the sun itself, and then there would be an origin, there would be a center, there will be an orb of the sun which will be its own origin, and it in fact is going to be a step ahead, a pole star, a 7-step value. Now this reach is a very big reach. We, the sadhakas, the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology, shall take it our first big blissful exercise to reach at the format of hypercubes 1 to 6, the representative bodies of 1 to 6 space as of 4 folds each, and these 4 folds will be given a designations as a dimension fold, a boundary fold, a domain fold and an origin fold. Therefore, the process will be that we have to reach at a dimension fold first, like x-axis, a-axis for 3 space. Then at the next step, we have to reach at a boundary fold like the surfaces of the cube. Then at the next step, we have to reach at the domain fold like the volume part of the cube. And a step ahead, we have to reach at the 4th fold, which we are designating as an origin fold, which will be taking us to the center of the cube. This rule of Ganita Sutra 1 is settling for us, is giving a reach for us, and this illustrative reach in terms of the rule of Ganita Sutra 1 to have a approach for the manifested bodies of our solar universe, that this manifestation is going to be of 4 folds. These 4 folds are designated as dimension fold, boundary fold, domain fold and origin fold. Therefore, let us make a note in our Vedic mathematics referencer that today we are face to face with the reach values, the attainment values of the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1 and the illustrative case which we are taking up today, for with which we are going to be face to face with today. It is the representative manifested bodies of different dimensional spaces. We are taking the biggest space today is a six space, a sun as a body of a six space content is manifesting as the content of six space. Therefore, to reach at value 6 on first principles would mean we have to begin with value 1 and we have to sequentially reach step by step from value 1 to value 2 to value 3 to value 4 to value 5 to value 6. Then value 1 is to be taken as a one space content lump as the domain of one space body of interval, which means the length. One space content manifesting as and giving rise to values and features of the length of an interval. A step ahead, the two space content as a two space content lump manifesting as the area as a domain part of our square or of our surfaces. A step ahead, three space content lump manifesting as the domain fold as the volume of the solid's volume of the cube. A next step will be the fourth fold. It is that fold which is called an origin fold, which is making a center of a cube. Therefore, it will be when at the stage of the sixth space, it will be taking us to orb of the sun, that center of the sun, that origin of the sun, the origin of a sixth space, which we know is coming to of value 7, and it is this value 7 which gets associated with the seventh element. Let us make a note that Vedic systems are approaching solar universe in terms of the basic elements. The first 5 basic elements are earth, water, fire, air and space. Sixth element is the sun and the seventh space is the pole star. Therefore, mathematics of Ganita Sutra 1 in terms of the structural key of its first letter is taking us to the entire chase steps as 7 steps long chase arrangement of our solar universe. So we, while being at earth and we while want to chase the existence phenomenon of our solar universe, which will be taking us to its origin, the pole star, then it is going to be of 7 steps and it is this reach. Therefore, we shall note down that from this lesson we have been initiated and exposed to the fourfold manifestation process of our solar universe, and this solar universe is of the sun with 6 space content body and value 6. Value 6 is the value which is the value of the first letter, and value 6 is the first perfect number. Therefore, this 6 is the perfect number as its factors are 1, 2 and 3, proper factors 1, 2 and 3. Their summation value is 6 and also their multiplication value is also 6. Therefore, 6 is the first perfect number. So 6 is one perfect number. 6 is the first perfect number. And 6 is the unique perfect number, as here the addition of the proper divisors and multiplication of the proper divisor will take to give a reach to the same value 6 equal to the value of the perfect number. It is here where when we will have a pause and when we will be face to face with this feature of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras, then we will be blissfully noticing that the beginning the first letter A, the value 6 of the first Ganita Sutra as of the first perfect number and of a unique perfect number is at the base of the uniqueness and excellence of the mathematics of Ganita Sutras. A step ahead when we transit from Ganita Sutra 1 and when we'll be reaching at the mathematics of Ganita Sutra 2, then we can see that Ganita Sutra 2 is a scripture, is a text which is of 28 letters, and value 28 is the value of a second perfect number. It is here where we shall have a pause and see how the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1 with Ganita Sutra as the source reservoir sutra is also, in terms of its rule, is taking us to transition and transformation, attainment and reach from the mathematics of value of 6 as a first perfect number to value 28 as the value of a second perfect number. The second aspect which we have to take up today, to which also I would like to point out, it is that Ganita Sutra 2 is giving us a working rule all from 9 and last from a 10. It is of the format, features and values of a 10 place value system. 9 numerals and 10th has a place value system. Now it is this reach at this will help us that if along the progression rule of Ganita Sutra 1, if we are progressing as a single digits, maybe at infinitely progression at ad infinitum steps, but that will not give us a best proper require applied values mathematics, and there have to be inherent limitation as it is here. Therefore, when this linear progression is to be given a halt, so that with particular unit, particular steps, we shall be in a position to have a repeated application in terms of that unit as one, and then having one more than that, so application of the unit. So here the unit is being taken of value 10. This value 10, we know the 10 points gives us 9 gaps. These 9 gaps are parallel, are associated with the 10 points range. This 9 and 10 association is parallel to the association of 9 numerals of a 10 place value system. Therefore, here we will have a now organization, a mathematics organization, which will provide us that this grid, which is from a single digit to a double digits grid. This double digits grid reach on the first hand will take us to 1 as 1 cross 1 and 2 as 2 cross 1. Therefore, these numbers 1, 2 and 3 will take us to the 1 cross 1, 2 cross 1, 3 cross 1, and therefore it will take us to the square units, area units, length units to the square units. It is one transition. There another transition is that we can see that 9 and 11 are 10 minus 1 and 10 plus 1. Therefore, when we are having at value 0 and one more reaching at plus 1 and one less when we are reaching at minus 1, and we know 0 is going to be the synthesis of the dimonad format, and this synthesis of a dimonad format as 0 is equal to 0 plus 0, and it is also equal to 0 into 0, therefore it will provide us a bend here. So this 0 cross 0 providing us a bend, taking us value minus 1 and plus 1. In general, it is taking us to n minus 1 to n plus 1. So it is this grid format which in respect of the 10 place value will be take us to grid 9 into 11. And now if we organize these 99 double digit numbers along 9 class 11 grid, then the very beautiful format. Another reach of the working rule of Ganita Sutra 1, taking us to the grid of 9 into 11, and this grid of 9 into 11 will provide us a mirror line. This mirror line will split this particular organization of numbers as an upper part and a lower part, and we'll see that the upper part is also having a mirror line and lower part is also having a mirror line, and the numbers of the above part are also having reflection pairs like 0, 1 and 10, 2 and 20, 3 and 30, 4 and 40, 5 and 50, 6 and 60, 7 and 70, 8 and 80, 9 and 90. And further blissful part would be these pairs are 29, and of these 16 are such which are not accepting 0 as a digit, and another 13s or having those which are in the form of 11, 22, 33 and 34 self-reflecting artifices are those which are naming. Now this organization format of the upper part as 16 and 13 is parallel to 16 sutras and 13 of sutras. This also gives us one beautiful feature that 16 can be is equal to 5 plus 6 plus 5, and 13 is equal to 4 plus 5 plus 4, and this gap is 3, and when we extend this rule of Ganita Sutra, it will take us to 20, and 20 is the value of a Ved. Therefore, these organization format, this reach in terms of Ganita Sutra 1 at the format of a Sthapatya miring rod, a miring rod which is a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1 to 6, and another way the reach at 9 class 11 grid, and grid which is providing us that in terms of the mirrors of the artifices of the numbers, as these artifices of the numbers when get embedded a mirrors, then it gives a very beautiful mathematics of the format with which we can reach even within the rays of the sun to chase the mathematics of a light for a tej within it and for a jyoti within it, from there to a Brahm Jyoti. Thank you very much.